What's up, everybody? I am Pete Pardo from Comic Book Users. Welcome to another episode of the show. Today we're going to take a look at another short Marvel series that never quite caught on, but one that when I was a kid, I enjoyed it quite a bit because, when you're 12 years old in the 70s, what's not to like about dinosaurs, right? So yeah, I'm talking about the short Marvel series called Devil Dinosaur, created, written, and drawn and edited by Jack Kirby. So, of course, Jack Kirby returns from DC Comics after a bunch of years away. Of course, he made his name in Marvel in the 60s, spent a good chunk of years at DC, then came back to Marvel in the late-ish 70s, latter part of the 70s, and all of a sudden started pumping out all sorts of series left and right. I mean, Jack Kirby was doing like everything there for a while. Devil Dinosaur, kind of his answer to a character that he created over at DC called Kamandi, the last boy on Earth, kind of like a prehistoric kid, sort of, right? So after Jack left DC continued with the Kamandi book, and they decided to make it like a animated TV series. Marvel was kind of like, whoa, we need to... That was Jack's idea, right? And we need to come up with something that'll kind of combat that. I think their idea was that they were going to introduce a new series in Marvel that hopefully eventually would also turn into a TV show as well, which never actually happened. So we got Devil Dinosaur. This is issue number 1, published in April of 1978. It only ran 9 issues, so by the end of December 1978, kaput. Pretty cool stuff if you like dinosaurs, cavemen, prehistoric men, right? So this is kind of weird. Kirby's playing with the historical timeline a little bit, because not only do you have all the dinosaurs in this dinosaur world, which whether it was supposedly on Earth millions of years ago, or whether it was on another X world in the multiverse, or I don't know, right? But you've got the dinosaurs and early man all coexisting with each other here. Right, so let's take a look at issue number 1. So, of course, like I said, Jack at this point in time has got 2001: A Space Odyssey, Machine Man, Devil Dinosaur, doing Black Panther, doing Captain America. He's got his hands basically everywhere. He's doing all the editing, writing, and art. The entire series was inked and lettered by Mike Royer, and Petra Goldberg was the colorist. So here we have great artwork, I might add. Jack is always good at doing like the monsters and things like that. So you've got Moon Boy is the main kind of human character, and he has befriended a young Tyrannosaurus who, as we'll get to, look at that great splash page there. The only issue with some of these splash pages here that Kirby does is that there's just too much going on. Why does there have to be every single dinosaur at the time in this particular scene, right? Kind of crazy, right? But this is going to start up a big fight for supremacy, because, of course, Devil Dinosaur, just otherwise known as Devil, named by Moon Boy, is basically the ruler, the leader of this whole dinosaur world. So, but he's constantly getting challenged by other dinosaurs. Of course, this particular one, he's called Thunderhorn, which is a triceratops. I know my dinosaurs. So here we got a cool battle between the two. Of course, Devil's going to win. Poor triceratops, right? And this first issue basically just kind of shows a lot of the world and how you have this other race of humanoid creatures. So now we're going back in time here. So this is the origin here. So that dead Tyrannosaurus is the mother of Devil, and then all the little ones are her babies. And basically, this race of humanoids just kills and eats everything. So they killed the mother, tortured the children, killed 2 of the 3, and then they tried to burn the other one. That's Devil Dinosaur, but did not kill him. But all the flames changed the color of his skin from green to red. So Moon Boy befriended him, saved him, and helped him rehabilitate. So they became kind of best buds there. And forevermore, they are a team together. Right? As Devil grows, Moon Boy stays with him, and they basically, go on and live their lives here. Interestingly enough, the readers page for, I think, the first 4 issues, no letters. Obviously, you don't have letters yet for a book that just debuts, but called the Dinosaur Dispatches. And here Jack is basically writing an editorial about the whole idea to do this and whatnot. So you get that for the first few issues. You get him just kind of pontificating, right? So here, kind of go along the story. Again, great art. Jack's perfectly doing this stuff. And even though it's a prehistoric race, there's lots of dialogue. So they might have been, making all sorts of weird noises and barks and stuff, but they're giving them language here. So the first is kind of just like an introduction to this whole story and this race of early man who are actually really evil. So of course they want to take over and rule the whole world here. So their plan is they got to get rid of this devil creature. So here they dispatch this whole plan to lure him into a pit with all these wooden spikes, which we'll see in the next issue. Of course that doesn't quite happen. This is the second issue here. All right, cool cover. So you got a giant spider, right? By the way, I love the cover of the first issue. Oops. It's just so colorful. These books are actually, the colors on all of these are just really, really good, both on the interiors and the covers themselves. So here, as we stated, and all the same people working on each issue. Killer splash page right there. So there you have, they lure Devil and Moon Boy into this pit with all the wooden spikes coming through. Moon Boy's like, jump for your life. It's like they're like, we're going to impale him. He'll be dead. We can then do whatever we want with the little one. But of course, he jumps basically over all of them, crushes the spikes, starts one by one stomping them out. But then what do? They loosen up all the rocks above, and they figure they can bury the both of them in a rock avalanche, which they kind of do. But they think Devil is dead. They pull Moon Boy out. He's still alive. But then, as we see, they start fires and whatnot, right? So they're just pillaging everywhere. Devil Dinosaur wakes up, frees himself, or attempts to free himself. Another predator comes by. Iguanodon, I believe he's called. They go at it. He bests the Iguanodon, a battle there. This is mainly all action. Here we got another editorial page from Jack, talking about all sorts of nonsense, right? Jack was big with the prose, let me tell you. So here they basically got Moon Boy tied up. They're going to sacrifice him to the spider god, the giant spider. But here comes Devil Dinosaur. He has taken a torch from the fires. He's like, I'm going to burn up your area here. Freeze Moon Boy. They escape from the venom of the spider. Then they go, of course, now the whole camp where these evil humanoids are at is all surrounded by fire, so they're all freaking out. So Devil and Moon Boy escape. These bad guys have no choice but to flee into the cave of the spider, and of course they've got nowhere else to go, and that does not end well with them. So of course, as they make their escape, they're like, all right, great, we got rid of that, someone spying them from the trees. That leads us into the next story. And for the first 3 issues here, they're all like, standalone stories. Although issue number 1 does lead into issue number 2. Issue number 3 is a total standalone. Here we go, right here, issue number 3. Devil and Moon Boy face the prehistoric might of Giant. Just called Giant. Just called me Giant. And this is one of my favorite ones, actually, here. So, here, start off, you hear all sorts of commotion. Another great splash page. They can see a lot of the fellow dinosaurs are running in the forest from some giant being that's chasing after them. Turns out it is this giant humanoid being with like the head of a triceratops skull on top of his head. So they move off and they try to figure out, all right, how do we deal with this? That eventually leads to them watching closely what he's doing. So of course he's having all sorts of battles with other dinosaurs. They know they need to put a stop to this. captures Moon Boy. Devil Dinosaur looking for his pal. Can't find him anywhere. He's off. He's looking. Here we got more pontificating from Jack, talking about, what does he call it? X-Age. He's calling this world X-Age. I guess Dinosaur World X-Age. Finally, Devil finds this giant. They start to battle. But then we notice that there is a smaller giant who is obviously, as Moon Boy finds out, is the son of the big one. The big one's looking for him. We heard this story before, right? Anybody ever watch Gorgo, right? So we find out that the rampage is because he's looking for his son. And so now, as Devil is still fighting Papa, Devil, who's very, very smart for a dinosaur, tricks the big Papa to fall into the bog. But Moon Boy realizes that the reason why he's there and the reason why he's freaking out and destroying things and going after he's trying to find his son. So he convinces Devil to save the father, pull him out of the bog, and then reintroduces father and son. They're very happy together. They go off together, and that's that. So that concludes the first 3 issues. Now, for the next bunch of issues, we get a long-term storyline. Not that long. Issue number 4, Objects from the Sky. So we've basically got like alien robotic creatures who find their way into X-Age or Dinosaur World, whatever have you. And we've got the introduction of some new characters here. So winds up happening is Moon Boy's having all these dreams about these creatures from space coming down, and they turn out to be dreams, but he's like freaking out because he knows something's going on. There's your skateboard ad. And eventually the rest of the dinosaurs start to feel that something is going down. And wouldn't you know it, a giant spaceship has landed with these robotic creatures who are very well drawn, I might add, very cool looking, come out. They start attacking everything that moves, trying to capture and kill. Right? Devil finds his way around them, but he winds up falling down. Moon Boy's hurt. Moon Boy is then captured, taken back to the ship for further study. Now the 2 pals are not together. And of course, Devil is very unhappy. He stumbles upon 2 other humanoids, one an older one, one a younger one. They kind of, the 3 of them form a little alliance here. Because there's all this mayhem going on. So Devil winds up telling, follow me. We'll, whatever. They're kind of hesitant to follow this big giant dinosaur, but he seems very intelligent. They're helping each other. Devil winds up destroying a few of the other robot creatures. Still, they're wary. Here we have additional dispatches from Jack. And that leads them to, they're following, of course, got to find Moon Boy, got to try and see if we can destroy these creatures from another world. That leads them to this giant, as you can see, kind of like Monolith Hill. It's the kind of the home of the giant ants, right? Which we'll see in a minute with issue number 5. So now you've got, for a few issues, you've got Moon Boy and Devil who are separate. Now Devil is traveling with the old white hair and the other, who's never really given a name. So here we got issue number 5. Kingdom of the Ants. Typical Kirby art. Very, very well done. I love how you get a splash page in every one of these. It's just the attention to detail is just amazing. Kirby was so good at like sci-fi and monsters and things like that. Always at his best. Then when they wind up getting all of the destroyed robots keep coming back that Devil has destroyed, and as we will see shortly, that the ants wind up destroying, because the ants prove to be a foe to both Devil and his 2 friends here, as well as the alien invaders. So the battle commences. These are actually really good. So here you can see the ants, giant ants attacking the robots. And what happens is they infiltrate all the systems and force them to blow up. So, but the ants also turn on to our heroes here. And then, you know, lots of action here, lots of battles. Devil is, by this point, he's absolutely exhausted, right? So, but the ants are kind of doing their thing and really doing a number on these alien invaders. And then for issue number 6, all right, we've got the introduction of a female character now. We also see in this one, I believe it's in this issue, the death of the white-haired humanoid. He winds up getting killed here. They wind up kind of getting one over on the alien invaders, but they do leave behind this, they call it the demon tree, but it's this like, I'm not quite sure, it's this like almost like robot satellite. And basically what that does is it puts up a protective kind of like force field around itself and the male and the female character. And Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur wind up getting reunited here. And they try to save the two of them, because at first they think that this little robotic creature is actually helping them do away with all their enemies and whatnot, but that's really not the case. But Devil winds up actually destroying the force field and saving those two, and they wind up destroying this demon tree. So as you can see right at the end there, he's charging towards the force field, and then he does break through. And then once he does that, this demon tree or satellite or robot, whatever it is, blows up. And then the male and the female do thank him, because they weren't sure. They were actually trying to use the demon tree to rid themselves of Devil Dinosaur, even though he's helped them the whole way. And then they decide they're going to go out and try and find a new life for themselves. So they walk off into the sunset, and that leaves behind Devil and Moon Boy to kind of get things back up and running again in their land there after all these alien creatures are gone. And then you got the last 2 issues here. The Mercy of the Dino Riders. It's pretty good, kind of like, you know, one-shot story. And then the last one, The Lizard's Last Stand. As you can see, you know, too, also, I think on the covers of the first few issues, you had Kirby doing all the arts and inks, and then he was sharing arts and inks on the latter. I think the last 3 covers are not quite as good as the first bunch, because I don't know how much Kirby's actually doing on here. But the last issue was interesting. And, you know, they finally started to have letters come in. The last couple issues, I think they did 2 of the issues, had some very, very positive feedback. And they were like, oh, letters are pouring in. Everybody loves Devil Dinosaur. And then all of a sudden, with the last 2 issues, no more letters page, right? So here we have The Witch in the War. So they stumble upon this witch who kind of like opens up a portal. It looks like a chasm, right? And Devil winds up falling into it. And where does he go? And Moon Boy's like, oh, where is my buddy? Where'd he go? And where does Devil wind up going? He winds up in Nevada here in modern times. Alrighty then. So now all of a sudden we have Devil Dinosaur in modern day 1978. So, of course, people are seeing dinosaurs for the first time. They're like, oh, dinosaurs are supposed to be extinct. Meanwhile, back in Dinosaur World, X-World, whatever it's called, Moon Boy and his friends are trying to figure out a way to get Devil back. And they're pleading with the witch woman. So here, you know, you've got the police and the fire department all trying to get this crazy red dinosaur under control. Here, back in Dinosaur World, they have found the hole or portal where Devil went through. And so the witch is conjuring up a spell to be able to open up the portal back where Devil Dinosaur is. So here he is. He's getting pretty much rocked by all the weaponry from the humans from modern day, and then he sees the opening up. He's hurt. But he sees that opening, and he's like, all right, I think I know what I got to do here. He climbs, jumps through, winds up back in Dinosaur Land, and then he and Moon Boy, happy again, back together. Don't look back, Devil. Leave these pits to the hag and her son. The rest of the valley is good enough for us. Devil agrees in silence, and he has found the trail which leads to greener places and cooler shadows, and thus endeth the chronicle. No explanation. No, this is the last issue. Usually what you get on a final issue is on the reader's page or the letters page. You get like an explanation from the editor or whatever who talks about how, the series is ending. This is the last issue. This is why, blah, blah, blah. Look forward to seeing the character again somewhere else. There's none of that. No letter, no explanation, no see you again sometime. No, this is, we always intended this to be a short series. None of that. And the funny thing is, like, as opposed to other series that didn't last too long, that you started to see like changes in the writers and changes in the artists and whatnot. This was from the first issue all the way to the 9th issue. This was basically Kirby and his small little crew who did everything in these books, and it's pretty high quality. Again, you got to like this sort of thing. I guess maybe in the late 70s, this is a little far-fetched for that time, but it's not superhero-y enough, and, there's no great villains here. And but I think as a kind of a deviation from the normal kind of formula, this is really good. Maybe this would have done better in the 60s. I don't know, or the earlier 70s. I really don't know. But me being, a young kid at the time, almost a teenager, right? 1978, I'm 12 years old, right? I still have a great love for, Godzilla and King Kong and dinosaur movies and all this kind of stuff. So this I thought was a breath of fresh air. But maybe that wasn't the case. Maybe just not enough people bought this. I don't know. Devil Dinosaur, the character, would show up in an issue of Godzilla, in the Godzilla comic, not that long afterwards. And then I don't think you would see Devil Dinosaur at least till the mid-late 80s. But then they've also done recently, they kind of had another series much later on in the 2000s, and all of a sudden he's with Moon Girl. And I know they did a TV show, like an animated show on Disney Plus, Devil Dinosaur and Moon Girl or something like that, right? So I haven't watched it, but I don't know. But I think the artwork is pretty terrific throughout. Again, maybe it's just a little too far-fetched. And I think you have to wonder, too, if the Jack Kirby burnout was happening at the time, because he was everywhere right around this time in Marvel. Like I said, he was doing Devil Dinosaur, doing Machine Man, did 2001, doing Captain America, doing Black Panther. I'm probably missing some others, too. He just was working on all these series. And, the Eternals. I forgot about the Eternals, right? It's another one. So, when you got one guy who's doing that many different series for a comic book publisher all at the same time, you're going to be like, unless you just absolutely love everything he does, you're going to be like, all right, I only got room for one Kirby series this month or whatever, right? So I got to choose between Devil Dinosaur, Eternals, Black Panther, Captain, you got to make a choice, right? So I don't know. But, could this have lasted much longer? Don't know. Did they need to bring him into the present in this issue? I think that's like the one aspect of this whole series that I really didn't like. I don't think they needed to do that. But the rest of it's pretty cool. I think they could have gone longer on this. I would have kept buying. I bought all these off the rack back in the day. These are original purchases from 1978 from my local stationery store. And I've had them all these years, so I really like them a lot. So, yeah, let us know what you think of Devil Dinosaur down below. Why do you think it didn't last? What was the reason just to cut it with no explanation? Or do you think maybe this was just always intended to be a short run? Again, remember, the original idea is Marvel was going to battle DC, continuing on with Kamandi and doing that as a cartoon. And I think maybe the idea at Marvel was to do the comic. Hopefully the series caught on. Convince whoever to do a animated TV show for like Saturday morning, and when the comic didn't really take off like they hoped, maybe there was less interest from the TV networks to do a cartoon show, and that they just kind of lost interest. And Jack was like, forget it. It's not going there. Let's not bother anymore. Don't know. But I dig it. It's cool to reread these. I haven't read these in quite a long time. It was cool to reread these again. So, yeah, good stuff. So let us know what you think of Devil Dinosaur down in the comments below. We'll see you next time for another one of these, series that didn't really last all that long, and what we think of it, our review of it, and what happened, why didn't it last, why didn't it continue on, and why didn't it catch on, right? So that's kind of been the focus of some of these longer episodes of late, and I've got a lot more planned. So stay tuned for more. I am P. Pardo. This is, please click on the like button before you leave, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And then, yeah, if you hit the like button, very, very important, so they make sure that the YouTube algorithm takes this video out far and wide so lots of people see it. And we'll see you soon here with more stuff. I am P. Pardo from Comic Book Geezers. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.